guys, Amazon Seller Tribe members, all those out there in Amazon seller land. We're super excited. Once again, Gay Lisby here and representing some of our warriors who are really making big waves in the Amazon space, in growing their business and molding and shaping their business and their life. And today I'm super excited to celebrate a milestone. We're not going to tell you what the milestone is yet, but I'm super excited to celebrate that with John Patterson. So, woo-hoo-hoo,
How
John
you doing?
Patterson. Yay, welcome to the webinar today.
Thank
So let's just frame this up. As I was saying earlier, a lot of people are like, well, yeah, so-and-so can sell on Amazon, but not me because I don't have, or I didn't do, or I'm not, or whatever.
Right.
And they think of ways to disqualify themselves. But in Amazon Seller Tribe, we have so many different people from so many different backgrounds.
Absolutely.
So much different experience in all kinds of walks of life. So many different family situations.
Yeah.
And so we want to talk about that first. Kind of frame up your life right now for me. Tell me where you live. Tell me what your life looks like. Talk about that for a little bit before we get to selling on Amazon.
All right. I live in Jacksonville, Florida, so right on the Florida-Georgia border. There's a couple other tribe members from Jacksonville in here that I've met. So I live with my wife. We've been married for 18 years. We have 2 kids. They're both in high school and both learning the Amazon business as well and getting them involved.
You're smart. So, you're smart.
My mom is actually living with us right now as well, and we're trying to keep her safe from all the COVID stuff and everything.
Right.
So it's, so it's, that's pretty much us. I still have my, I'm a fraud investigator for a living. So
no, whoa. Say that again. And maybe move up to the microphone just a little bit so we can hear you just a little bit better. You kind of threw that out like everybody is.
Right.
You're a fraud investigator.
I am. I'm a fraud investigator for a commercial insurance company. So, it kind of makes me generally skeptical and pessimistic by nature. So, when I started looking into Amazon, I kind of came into it, looking for, okay, well, what's the catch with this? It doesn't make sense. How are all these people, selling all this much and making all this much money? I'm very open to, a lot of people out there recognize that, hey, there's a lot of people desperate out there to get in on this stuff and, selling information.
Really to do fraud, right?
Absolutely. And you hear stories about people that, unfortunately are taking, good customers' money and not delivering the goods. So, I've always been kind of hyper vigilant about who I give my money to and when, and I research things to death before I jump in. And, Amazon was no different from that. I spent a lot of time researching Amazon, too much time, truthfully, that I should have.
Let's talk about that. You said really, truthfully, too much time, because you really were looking for why it wouldn't work.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounded too good to be true. It's like, how are these people just buying stuff at Walmart and selling it online for more, like nobody's going to pay that much more for this stuff. And it just didn't make sense to me, for me, it just, somebody who was always kind of shopped different places, even online, it's like, wait a minute, like, why would somebody, it didn't make sense. It really didn't. So, I started doing more and more research, and you're seeing sales numbers out there and you're like, all right, well, that's great. But, what's the catch? Again, it was always just kind of came back to what's the catch. And, finally I decided to kind of jump in and get my feet wet with it and got started and learned a few tough lessons right off the bat. So, which it's kind of your entrepreneurial tax, I guess, for
sure.
lack of a better term,
Yeah, it's your experience tax, isn't it?
Yeah, you're paying your dues. So,
so when did you actually start selling on Amazon?
A little over a year ago. And just to show you how skeptical I was of this, I actually started with a business partner because, and I was familiar with the different business models in my initial research, but I didn't think you could scale arbitrage that much.
Gotcha.
So I thought you had to do wholesale to make any money. And,
Gotcha.
you know, my buddy that I went into it with, he's fantastic on the phone. He's a good salesman. So I was like, hey, let's jump in on this together. I think there's something here, you know, but I think we need to kind of look towards the wholesale model, you know, quickly. So we partnered up. He's a great friend of mine. We've been friends for 20 years. It didn't work out. We had different goals. For me, you know, I want this to be my full-time thing. For him, you know, if he made 10, 15 grand a year extra, great. You know, he
just kind of
we had different goals, you know.
Yeah.
Going back to a Gary saying, you know, he was very fear-based and I'm very greed-based. So, you know, which sometimes can be a great balance, but, you know, it definitely was, we just had different ideas of how to grow. You know, so we decided to part ways September of this year. You know, and up to that point, we really hadn't sold more than 10, 12 grand a month. And even then it wasn't consistent. You know, we stopped during COVID when it hit the first time. We had some suspension challenges and, you know, just again, the normal, you know, stuff that I think pretty much everybody goes through. But yeah, September, I got with Jeff and Paul from Seller Basics, and we parted ways, and things have just changed quickly since then.
So your account did get shut down for a little period of time, and
So
then
it
you
didn't
were
get
able to get it back, or did you just have some violations you just had to get off your?
so it didn't get shut down. They held our money because we had an inauthentic complaint. And long story short, it was a deal from a sourcing list that I didn't vet properly, and it turned out to be a knockoff. So it kind of scared me a little bit because it was 2 months into our, you know, selling journey.
Ouch.
This hits, you know, and it's like, well, wait a minute, like I have no problem raising my hand and say, hey, we messed up, but this is a serious, you know, violation. So they held our money for, I think it was about 45 days, and then we were able to get it cleared up. So they didn't technically suspend us, but we were basically stuck until
you got hamstrung there for
you know, I mean, if they're holding your money, like you're not sending in more products so that they can hold more of your money. So
exactly.
You know, weed it out. So.
But Jeff Schick and Paul Raffleson with Seller Basics was able to help you jump through some hoops there with Amazon and get you back going again.
Yeah, they didn't help me with that issue. I didn't know about them yet. I had worked with somebody else for them, but Jeff and Paul have helped me quite a bit since then. I'm actually a Seller Basics member since I joined Tribe, and I learned about them through Tribe. So they've been a huge help with a couple different things since then.
So John, when did you start in Amazon Seller Tribe? When did you join our tribe?
June 1st of this year was I jumped in. So I was looking for sourcing lists and came across you guys, and I heard your name before kind of in the space, and I jumped on a list and I got in the group. And it was funny because I said to my business partner at the time, I was like, this group is different. Like, because I immediately, when I go into a group, I start searching, you know, I go through back posts and stuff like that. I'm just, you know, I'm a reader.
And you're an investigator.
Yeah, you know, and I want to know where my money's going, you know, like, so I started reading posts. I was like, this is completely different and I mean, at that point I'm in 10, 15 different Amazon Facebook groups. So it's not like it was new to me or anything, you know? And I told him, I was like, something's different here, you know? And he didn't quite buy in. So that was kind of the motivating factor of like, hey, this is my opportunity here. And now, so, you know, now's the time that we part ways, and, you know, we'll both be good with it. And, you know, I'm going to go all in on this.
So, you know, some people still are surprised to hear that you can grow a business with arbitrage.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Some people are still stuck on the idea it's got to be, you know, a private label model, or it's got to be a wholesale model, and there are many barriers to entry. And so then they just don't do anything.
I think there's a lot of negativity, you know, around it in some of the groups, you know, especially some of the free groups. I think some of the people in there just, you know, they're just people that aren't generally happy, I guess. I don't know, you know, I mean.
Well, they definitely like to thin down the competition.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's part of it too, absolutely, you know, I mean, but I didn't understand that you could scale it the way you could scale it now, you know, knowing what I know now, being in Tribe, it just blows my mind. You know, I mean, it really is. And I'm 100%, you know, arbitrage. I'm not doing anything else, you know, and to me, I haven't even scratched the surface yet of where this can go.
Right. So let's kind of get into where this has gone. When did you hit your, when do you think you hit your first $10,000 month?
We hit it kind of off and on. You know, we were doing it around May, June, July-ish. You know, consistent. We'd go 8 grand one month, 12 grand the next month.
Gotcha.
We peaked at 15, you know, at one point, and that was kind of it. But you know, again, it was kind of a fear-based, greed-based thing where we had different ideas of how to scale.
Right, right. So there was that push pull that just wasn't,
Right.
you know, and you know, when you have lived the kind of life that you've lived, you know, you've been around, you've been married for a while, you got children that are, you know, in high school, you're not a novice. You definitely can set a course for yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, at this point you were like, okay, I'm ready to cut ties and just set a course for myself, my family. And was there a place where your you know, your knowledge base, your understanding of yourself, your understanding of how to create systems and that sort of thing, is there a place where that changed for you, that grew for you?
Tribe 4. I mean, I can't say it enough. You know, I mean, I joined Tribe, like I said, June 1st, and I think about a month after that is when you guys opened Tribe 4. You know, and I'd recognize some of the names in Tribe. I've seen them in other groups and stuff, and you know, to have that many people speak that highly of it, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a shot. And at that time, you know, we were still partnered up. I didn't even tell them. I just did it on my own. I paid for it out of my own money, and I was like, you know what, like this is it, and it's the best money I've ever spent in my life. I mean,
So for people who don't know, you know, some of the words we use, you know, Amazon Seller Tribe is our main group, and then Tribe 4, that's we've had Tribe 1, which is our first coaching round,
yeah,
and Gary Ray, Master Coach, is the one that developed that. And we actually rolled that out a couple of years ago now, and we rolled it out to a beta test group. I think we limited it to like 40 people. And we were like, if this works for 40 people and we have good success, and we know we're on to something. Well, it was hands down just a crazy success. And since that time, so here's Tribe 1 participants, and then here's Tribe 2 participants over here, Tribe 3 participants, and Tribe 4 participants is still down there. I don't even have room on my table to put the plaque because so many people participated in that in the 4th coaching round. So you found there was great value there for you.
Absolutely. It's changed everything for me. You know, I mean, it really has. I just, you know, the quality of the content in there, the people's willingness to share information. I think that's been the biggest thing, you know, learning about relationships in the business, you know, and how important they are. That was something that I didn't really think about much, you know, before that is understanding how important to your growth those relationships are. You know, I mean, you look at the bigger sellers, and every single one of them, it's one of the first things they lead with is, you know, hey, we have these relationships with these other sellers, and we're all growing together. You know, they said it on the call yesterday that you had is, you know, the tide raises all ships, and it's true. You know, I mean,
That's right.
everybody's invested in everybody's success, and it doesn't matter if it's you know, $1,000 a month or $100,000 a month. You know, seeing the people that hit the huge sales numbers still asking questions and learning and growing, it was a huge eye opener to me. You know, it spoke volumes about the group and about kind of, you know, what it stands for and everything, and just how valuable it is when you have people that are already, you know, incredibly successful at this, you know, still just as humble as could be, and, you know, asking questions and you know,
Answering questions.
yeah, it's, well, you know, I
Taking
mean,
time to answer questions.
yeah, you know, like somebody like Matt the Gloppler stands out, you know, I mean, constantly helping people out, you know, and that man is busy.
Yeah.
You know, and he's constantly in there answering questions and giving just fantastic information, you know, and expects nothing. you know, and I mean, that's somewhere that I hope that I can get to, is to give back. And, you know, I mean, one of the best relationships I've developed from Tribe was just because I threw somebody an ungating source, you know, and that's turned into such a great relationship for me, you know, and a mutual relationship, you know, where, you know, we're sharing deals now, and, you
Come
know,
on.
it's helping each other out and encouraging each other. And, you know, all because I just shared, you know, one quick pool source to flip a
Come
pool,
on.
you know, like
Come on.
it's,
Come
you know,
on.
and
So,
that was a huge eye opener.
entrepreneurship can be a lonely journey if you let it,
Yeah, big
but it
time.
doesn't have to be.
No, it's finding like-minded people, you know, to kind of help you along the way. It's changed my mindset, you know. I don't know if I'm still doing this, you know, in 6 months, if I hadn't found a group of people that,
Right.
you know, were there to support me, and me to support them, and help me grow, and genuinely
Right.
invested in my success. You know,
Right.
I mean, it's just been incredible.
Right. So, I think some people make the mistake of, and we've heard this analogy over and over again, but I think it's important for us to remember it for ourselves personally. So this is me. If I get cut off from the flock, so to speak, I'm an easy target for self-doubt,
Yep.
self-incrimination, self uh, uh, where you continually put down your own decisions,
Absolutely.
because not every arbitrage buy you make is going to be a home run.
Nope, it certainly isn't. It's the law of averages. You know, you just,
It is the
uh,
law of
you
averages.
know, you just, the goal is more good than bad. You know, and I mean,
And
it's,
what keeps you pushing forward to that sometimes are those other voices around you that
oh,
says,
absolutely.
hey, let it go, just write it off, let that one go.
Yeah, you know,
Now you got 12 more profitable ones standing in front of you.
it's a whole mentality shift. You know, I mean, sometimes, and I've been guilty of it in the past, that, you know, I get frustrated with, you know, we worked so hard, and I worked with Linda for MFN training and stuff, and coaching, and did my 25 items, and I misinterpreted one of the requirements for the MFNing toys for fourth quarter, and that was a huge part of our fourth quarter strategy. So I can't MFN toys, and it was my fault. You know, I didn't catch it, but, you know, before that probably would have shut me down. You know, and I would have spent so much time dwelling on that, and letting it just kind of consume me and eat me up. And instead, we immediately pivoted and said, okay, well, yeah, we can't do toys. You know, it sucks, but there's
Come
so
on,
much other stuff we can
come
do,
on,
you know,
come
like
on,
an MFN. So we pivoted, and haven't missed a beat, you know. I mean,
come on.
I can lose sleep over it, or I can figure it out and fix it. And it's, you know, there's just, it's something I would have dwelled on in the past. And this group has changed my mentality of, you know, stop making excuses, and go fix it, or go figure out another way. And, you know, and we did, and it's worked, you know. I mean, it's,
So,
there's money
I'm
everywhere.
just thinking right now of another seller's story. It was like, and you heard this down in Kentucky. They said, about the only thing we were ungated in was grocery.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
What do you do? You know, I mean, and especially right now, I mean, you know, we're heading for another lockdown.
another
You know,
lockdown, right?
you know,
So instead of looking at that as a barrier to entry,
it's
they
an
looked at that
opportunity.
as a springboard to $1
Yep.
million in sales, which it was
Yeah,
exactly that.
absolutely. I think it was. I remember you had somebody on that, or there was somebody at Tribe that, you know, had done over 1 million in just grocery, pretty much, in
Yep.
a very short time. You know, I mean, it just, and I think that's been something that's been eye opening too. Is, yeah, you know, there's so many successful arbitrage people in this group, and there's so many different ways they go about it. You know, from the ones that primarily MFN, to the ones that primarily FBA, to their sourcing methods. You know, you look at somebody like Chris that can go in and break down a store manager in 10 minutes and walk out with 10 carts, you know, like, you know, to somebody else that's 100% OA, and doing,
Right.
you know, there's so many ways to skin the cat. And it's like, you have to find which way you're most comfortable,
That's
and really
right.
exploit it and take advantage of it, you know, and just
Right.
push.
And
You know?
and what fits your family situation
Absolutely, you
and
know, I
your
mean,
work situation, because
yep.
many people still run a growing Amazon business while they're working full time.
Oh, absolutely. My wife and I, you know, we're still 9 to 5 and have demanding jobs, you know. So this is a nights and weekends thing for us still right now, and it's going to be for a while, you know. I mean, at least for her, for me,
Let me just say that it's not a little nights and weekends.
hopefully. No, it's not.
Now all of a sudden things have taken on have gone like
It
like
escalated quickly.
like a bonfire all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And so let me just pause here just to celebrate with you, because you just achieved an awesome milestone in your business. And I'm super excited for you to share this milestone with Amazon Seller Tribe members and folks that are like, I don't think I can do this. But all of a sudden, John Patterson comes in and goes, yeah, trust me, you can, because if I can, you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is that milestone you just busted the top out of?
We hit 15,000 in sales last month in October, and then just yesterday we crossed over 50,000 for the month of November. So in 1 month we 3x'd it to 50,000.
How do you think like that? I mean, you just don't think, is this really, I mean, can I 3x it in 1 month?
Yeah, I
What?
mean it's incredible. You know, it
Just takes on a life of its own.
it's you know, you got to take action. You know, you guys laid out a blueprint for me. You know, I mean, Gary's in there showing us his numbers and his inventory lab, and you know, I mean, he's opened up everything to you. You know, if you're given those type of resources, you better take advantage of them. You know, and I did. It's you know, it motivated me. It made me hungry. It just pushed me to say, hey, I can do this. You know, just all these success stories of people doing it on the side. Somebody gave birth a couple weeks ago and was outsourcing the week before. Like,
It's
just
true.
no excuses. I
No
mean,
excuses.
just get it done. I mean, it's not hard. It's a lot of work, but it's not hard.
It's not
And
hard work. It actually is kind of fun work too.
it
It's a
is
little bit like, I think you're a fisherman, aren't you?
a little bit.
Okay. It's a little bit like fishing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just
I mean,
gotta
it's
know where the good honey holes are.
right. And that's the thing is, once you kind of learn the basics of it, it escalates quickly. I mean, we parted ways with our business partner September. We transitioned from a prep center to prepping everything ourselves October. So that was kind of our staging month to get our inventory in and everything. And now we're hitting numbers that were a pipe dream
Right.
90 days ago. It's like
Yeah, I kind of picture you in Gary Ray's Corvette right now, just ready to hit the next gear. And
absolutely.
I've been in there all of a sudden when the G forces hit your face, and I was like, woohoo! And Gary's laughing, and I said, I think I left my wig back there. That's where you are. You're just about to hit that next gear.
Yeah,
But you have taken the time to get those systems in place. You did take the time to learn, because you don't know what you don't know.
absolutely.
Sometimes you don't even know what questions to ask because you don't know what you don't know.
Well,
Right.
it's funny, and it's funny that you say that because one of my coaching calls with Trevor and Matt the Gloppler was on it, and I was thankful for it because I was like, he's going to ask all the questions that I should be asking, like, and I just sat there and just listened and just soaked it up, I mean,
Yeah, when you have the chance to be in the same moment with $2 million minds, you
yeah.
just as well take notes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been, been lucky to, have this opportunity, and but again, it's not nothing special, like if I can do it, anybody can do it, I mean,
You know what I like about what has happened to you too is your belief level in Amazon as a selling platform has changed. Your belief level in you as a seller on the platform has changed.
absolutely.
And we get to be the ones in Amazon Seller Tribe to cheer you on and just to say, take another step, pack another box, scan another item, make another buy. And then you can take that formula you've been given and you can say, okay, if I want to be $1 million seller, all I have to do is reverse engineer it. And I need to buy this much on these days of the week in order to accomplish this. And these are the steps and processes, and they're set for you, aren't they?
No, absolutely. I mean, it's, again, the blueprint's there, I mean, it's, you guys walked us through everything we need to do to accomplish this, and the tools are there. So, you pick your method. For us, it's online arbitrage. That's what works for us. But yeah, it's setting the spending goals and some of the other goals, and and tracking them, and really digging into them, and figuring out, okay, this is what I need to do to hit X, Y, and Z. It's just been, and to see it actually pay off and work, it's been just incredible. I mean,
it's a beautiful thing. You really have achieved something, and now I really know that you are hitting that next gear. The next minute, I'm not even going to be able to blink, and you're going to be at 500,000. The next thing, you're going to be a gold lanyard seller, and people will be asking you the questions you've been asking others just a little while ago. I know that's in you to do now, because the old saying, the proof is in the pudding. You've already seen the proof over and over again.
Absolutely.
You're like, okay, push this button and this happens, push this works. What would you say to, so our dear friend, Gary Ray, he and his wife are fighting the COVID right now, and that's why he's not on this interview. And, but I want you to, if he were here right now, on this interview, what would you say to him based on your experience, without giving any of the proprietary information away, of course?
You're right.
What would you say to him based on your experience with the Tribe coaching program?
It's been life-changing for us. I mean, again, for somebody to open up their live inventory lab, not a 6-month-old screenshot, and click through and say, hey, like, here it is, guys, here's my numbers, here's exactly what I'm doing to do that, and really just laying out the proof, and not just saying, oh, I'm, selling XYZ, at this profit. I mean, he shows you everything. And it's just the level of trust, that somebody has to have to do that, and belief and faith, and, and his people that he's teaching. It's just incredible. It's something, it's so rare. You just don't see it, and that kind of goes back to my fraud investigator thing, where I'm skeptical, but I'm also good at reading people, and that man has a heart of gold, and you both do. And I said it before, you guys genuinely care about our success, and it means just as much, if not more, to see us succeed than you guys and your own businesses succeeding. And that's just, you don't find that, places. It's incredible, the support system, and the just the encouragement and everything that you guys provide is just, it's mind-blowing. It really is.
Well, we really do care about your success, and really, for Gary and I, we've lived now a lot of enough decades that we've chased the numbers, we've chased a lot of things for ourselves, and for us now, we're getting to the place where our real payoff in life. I mean, Gary and I always say, when we see you folks share your sales figures, when you folks hit a milestone that you've achieved for yourself, you set it, you achieve it, and then you share it with us and let us get in on the celebration. The fun of that is, that's our payday.
Right.
That's our payday. That's the place where we say, wait a minute, what we're doing really matters. It's changing lives. It's helping you get to the place you want to be. You're able to turn to your high school age kids now and hand them a skill that when they walk out the door, they can make a good living for themselves if they do nothing else but this.
Absolutely. I mean, that's been something that's weighed on my mind a lot. My son, who is 18, his 18th birthday was the day of the Tribe meetup, and I wrestled with that one a lot, because I felt bad, and we were not there for it, which he didn't care, honestly.
He's 18.
But he's actually high functioning autistic.
I see.
So, development wise, he's a little bit, behind where a normal 18-year-old would be and stuff. So, you know, it's a lot. I turned 40 this year, and it's kind of weighed a lot on me. You know, what can I be doing more to set him up for his future and make sure
Exactly.
that, you know, when my
Exactly.
wife and I are gone, that he's taken care of and, you know,
Come
set,
on.
and, you know, not only building this business that he can work in, but, you know, be there for him, you know, to provide and, you know, help him, you know, when we're not able to anymore. It just, I
That's
can't tell
awesome.
you what
That's
that means
awesome.
to us, you
And
know.
he's getting it. He understands. He's taken
Oh,
a
absolutely. Yep.
right. He understands the
Absolutely.
basic principles that make this thing work.
He does. He does. Trust me, he eyes some of the stuff we buy, especially the video games and stuff. He's like, "Hey, Dad, you know what's going on there?" You know, it's you know, but he understands, you know, and we've been kind of easing him into it. And you know, my daughter's been learning the prep side of the business, and you know, and has enjoyed it. So you know, I
That's
mean,
awesome. It's just a
turned into
beautiful thing.
a family affair. So it's, you know, making the most of our time here at home when we're all home nonstop.
Come on. What a beautiful thing. You know, it just thrills us every time, like I said, that we see someone who's set a goal and then they achieve that goal. And whether they surprise themselves or not, I don't know. But it doesn't really ever surprise Gary and I because we know it's in you to
Right.
do. We just have to try to figure out ways to get you to stop being your own worst enemy and then help you come out to that place to become the person you were always meant to become.
Yeah.
And entrepreneurship can be a scary journey, but sometimes when you surround yourself with people that you can trust, you you know a very very famous saying says the wounds of a friend can be trusted. And in the Bible, I think in Proverbs, actually, it says the wounds of a friend can be trusted. What that means is, even if a friend kind of hurts your feelings, you can kind of trust that because you know they're not trying to kill you. They're not trying
Right.
to. And so we can speak truthfully to you. Sometimes we have to say, hey, guys, come on, get up. Don't let that put you down. No, we're
Right.
not. COVID's coming, but we're not going to sit down. Here's how we're going to go through the dark winter, right? Remember
Yeah,
when Gary
absolutely.
sat down in front of the video or the camera and did that video? He's like, here's how I'm going through the dark winter.
Absolutely.
Everybody else is like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go stand in the soup line. And Amazon Seller Tribe members are going, hey, you know what? I'll just do online.
Uh,
I'm just going online. There's so many ways to do it.
it's an incredible opportunity we have in front of us, you know, and I mean, if you're not taking advantage of it, you know, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You know, again, you guys have given us the tools to do this and do it well and make some money and be your own boss, and you know, whether that's side income or, you know, a full-time job for you, you know, take advantage of it and, you know, get to work. It's you know, you got to make it happen.
It's time. It really is time. I'm excited to see and I'm hoping you'll share them with me like December 31st, what your numbers end up being December 31st, because
I
I
will.
know that I will jump for joy.
I will. I
And I
appreciate
know
it.
that 2021 is going to be a breakout year for you. I mean, you will zoom past this level that you are on now. You will just zoom past it so fast and be off to the gold lanyard. For those of you who don't know, the gold lanyard seller status is the $1 million mark or higher.
Right.
And we have several Amazon seller tribes that sport the gold lanyard and several that sport the multiple gold lanyard,
Yeah,
right?
there's been a few of those lately. That's incredible. I mean, just
Right.
mind blowing. It's
So
you know, it's there.
yeah,
Go get it. You
it
know,
really, wait, what did you just say?
it's there. Go get it. I mean,
It's
it's right in
there.
front of you.
Go get it. It really is. So true. John, thanks for spending this time. Maybe next time we'll get your wife on camera with you.
Yeah.
We'll see
Well,
if
she's
she'll
upstairs working right now. So, but
if she'll sit down with us. But we're
she will.
super excited for you and the milestone that you've achieved in your business.
Thank
You're
you.
not dinking around on 8,000, maybe 10, maybe
No,
12. Oops, I dropped back to 8. I'm going. You hit that next year, hit the $50,000 a month mark, and off to the races. Now, I remember talking to a young seller last year at Gary Ray's place in Kentucky last October, and he said, Gay, I just hit the, he said, I'm really wanting to go full time. And he's an engineer. He says, I'm really wanting to go full time. When do you think's a good idea for me to go full time? And I said, well, I asked him what selling level he was on. And he said, well, I really am almost, I'm at 30,000 a month. And I said, can you hit 60?
Mm-hmm.
And his head came up and he said, maybe. And I said, if you can hit 30, you can hit 60.
Absolutely.
If you can hit 30, you can hit 60. All you have to do is hit 60.
Yep.
You have to buy twice as much as you were doing, ship twice, you can figure out how to duplicate yourself.
Well, and that's the thing, it's so scalable. It's not, you don't do anything different at 50 than you do at 20 or 10, or you're just doing it more,
Come on.
That's it.
Come on. It's so scalable.
It is, so I mean, a big goal for me in early 2021 is to do this full time,
You're going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's within reach now for the first time.
Yep.
In a year.
And you have the foundation, you have the skills, you have the formula now. And more than anything, I think you have the mindset. You found the truth. You investigated. You discovered there was no fraud.
No, not at all.
And you got to the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. I got out of my own way and trusted the numbers, and
come on,
it's paid off more than I could even tell you. I mean, it's just,
that's awesome. That's so good. Well, folks, we wish Gary Ray could be with us here today. We appreciate him so much in the part that he's played in so many sellers' lives. And I know that John values and appreciates him so much. And the other coaches that were part of Tribe 4 coaching round. And I know we're all looking forward to Tribe 5. I learn new things every coaching round too, because things just change. Things change, move, develop on Amazon. And so we're always constantly learning. Nothing wrong with that. Makes us better, faster, sharper. So John, thank you for spending this time with me.
Thank you for having me.
Those of you in Amazon Seller Tribe, give a shout out to John Patterson for hitting this great milestone. And now don't blink, because the next time you blink, you'll be sporting the gold lanyard, $1 million seller. I know that to be the case. So thank you for being here with me today, John.
Thanks, Gay.